We are going to start a new series where we talk about games that pushed consoles to their absolute limits. These are games that typically release late in a console's life cycle after developers had figured out how to optimize every piece of code and squeeze every last little bit of performance out of these old consoles. Today we're going to start with the Nintendo Entertainment System, the classic bad boy over here, and we're going to be talking about one of the all-time classics and probably one of the biggest swan songs the NES could have had, Kirby's Adventure. Kirby's Adventure was released surprisingly in 1993, 2 years after the Super Nintendo had already been released in North America. Now keep in mind, the NES was an 8-bit console, meaning developers were hitting the limits of this thing only 2 years into its life cycle. So how did Nintendo respond? Well, they created the MMC chips. The MMC chips, or the multi-memory management chips, were included in the cartridge for the NES games. They enabled developers to push far beyond the limits of what the NES itself was capable of. Kirby was one such game. You can see it in the vibrant, moving background. You can see it in the character designs. You can see it in the animations. This game looks like it came out on the Super Nintendo. Now, I think we can admit it was a bit of a risky move by Nintendo putting this game on the NES rather than the shiny new Super Nintendo. However, considering this game wound up selling 1.75 million copies, I'd say it paid off. Kirby is ranked 36th of the best-selling games on the NES, which, considering it released 2 years after the Super Nintendo, I would say that's pretty damn impressive. Now I'm curious, what other games came out on the NES that pushed it far beyond its original limits? Let me know in the comments.